The Magical Garden of Claude Monet by Laurence Anholt. "I wish we had a garden," said Julie. She looked down at the drab river which ran through the city. Even Louis the greyhound was bored with being inside. "As soon as I have finished this painting," said Julie's mother, "I'll take you on a journey to the most wonderful garden in the world. It belongs to my old friend, the painter, Claude Monet." They took a big black train beside the twisting river far out of the city and into the countryside. Then Louis began to run down the hill and into a lane where a huge wall stood around a mysterious garden. "Stop, Louis!" called Julie, but it was too late. Louis had gone. Julie didn't know what to do. She got down on her hands and knees and wriggled inside. It was like crawling into a dreamy world where twisting plants grew tall as trees. Julie ran around a corner and almost knocked over a big man with a spade. The man wore a straw hat and had a huge white beard. "Oh," said Julie, "I am looking for my dog. Are you the gardener?" "I suppose I am," said the man. "Come and look." "One day these tiny seedlings will grow into big flowers, but a gardener has to be very patient, just like a painter." Then Julie realized. "You are Claude Monet," she gasped. "Yes," laughed the old man, "I am Claude Monet." Together they searched for Louis, along the shady path deeper and deeper into the magical garden, until it seemed as if they had left the real world behind. Under a willow, Julie saw Monet's umbrella, like a huge white mushroom. And there was Louis. He had a blue nose, a purple ear, and one green paw. "Naughty dog," shouted Julie. "You've walked all over Mr. Monet's paints." "I think your dog wants to be a painter," laughed Monet. "Look, he's made a picture too." Then Julie saw Monet's paintings laid out in the sun to dry. Clouds floating on a mirror pond, a field of golden haystacks, a little Japanese bridge, a row of wispy poplars. The brush marks glowed like flowers in a garden. They turned the handle on a rickety gate and stepped inside. It was like a garden inside a garden, a wild, wet, watery garden where willows bowed over a silent pool. Together they crossed the green bridge. When they rowed across the pond, it felt like floating in Mr. Monet's paintings. Julie heard the splash of the oars and birds calling in the trees. All around them lilies sparkled like a midnight sky. When they reached the very middle of the pool, Monet stretched into the dark water and pulled out one flower, the biggest lily of all, as bright as a silver star. "A little present from my water garden," he said. They walked back towards the house, and Monet pushed open a huge studio door. "Here is my biggest idea of all," he said proudly. "I'm trying to paint the most enormous water garden in the world. When you stand in the middle, you will feel as if you have dived into a pool." "It will be amazing," said Julie. For a moment, Monet looked sad. "But to tell the truth, I wonder if I will ever finish," she said. "I'm old now and my eyesight is bad." Julie thought for a moment. "You will need to be very patient," she said, "like a gardener." "Yes," he smiled, "just like a gardener." Then Claude Monet pulled out a big watch. 6 o'clock precisely, he said. "Time to eat." Waiting in the yellow dining room, surrounded by pictures from Japan, sat Mrs. Monet and Julie's mother. "Here are your little runaways," said Monet. Then it was time to leave. Monet walked with them as far as the river. Louis wanted to say goodbye too, but as he jumped up, Julie's beautiful lily went flying into the river. "Oh, Louis," shouted Julie, "that was a special lily." They took the train back to the city, and even Louis was tired. The garden seemed like a distant dream. But in the middle of the night, Julie heard Louis whining to go outside. She tiptoed through the apartment. Beneath the balcony, something was sparkling on the river. Julie ran outside and stretched into the dark water. She pulled out a lily, as bright as a silver star. "Perhaps it's a little present from the water garden," she whispered. And as the city slept, she breathed in the sweet smell of the magical garden of Claude Monet.